Hi guys, Harry Yotis here, professional trader for 20 years. Started my career way back in 2005 and still alive in 2026. Okay, today, chart of the S&P 500. We are Friday, this big ugly red candle finished near the lows on Friday the 13th. Wow. Okay, I guess, you know, everything happened. 13 is a bad luck number and today we witnessed it in the markets. So the S&P was down about 0.6%. Okay, and this is, as we keep mentioning, a headline-driven market. Okay, it's just basically oil, Straits of Hormuz, Iran war. That's it. Everything is tick for tick. Everybody's positioned super scared, and you have saber rattling from both sides of the game. You have Iran saying we're going to close the straits to inflict damage to the U.S. Economically through higher oil prices, and the States is saying nope, we're going to lock it down, and don't worry, everything's going to be okay very shortly. Okay, so first, before we get into the headline-driven market, we'll talk about the technical picture. Still neutral even after today. We're still in this consolidation pattern. We'll start getting worried at 652 on the SPY. We're at 662. Okay, so maybe 10 points and get there pretty soon. We said we might get around here, get to the extreme levels in sentiment, but we'll get to that soon. So technically speaking, we're still neutral. If you bring in the moving averages, this is where it gets interesting. We're approaching the 200, okay? These are going to be interesting buy points if you guys want to get in. I like the 652 level, and of course, the 200-day moving average is at 658, another good buy point coming up very quickly. And these points are being reached as we speak with the sentiment, which we always pair it with the technicals, with the sentiment at extreme fear in 20. How much lower can it go? Well, we saw it in the tariff tantrum last year. It went to 3. Okay, so it's possible it goes there, and we're at war now. Every sub-indices here is extreme fear, almost everyone. Okay. Even our good, strength and breadth indicators are at extreme fear. So exactly what we wanted. We are really positioned to the negative. Market, I don't know, 4 to 5% from highs. Let's say minus 5% from highs. And we're approaching key levels. Okay, this is a good point to add some long exposure. Of course, you protect yourself with stops, but this is a good point because you're never going to see good news at the bottom or when things are really bad. Okay, when you're at here, you're never going to see, oh, we're optimistic it's going to happen, something's good's going to happen. No, it's always negative. You have the technical conditions here are neutral. The sentiment is at extreme fear, which is good for us as long-term bulls. So we want to add at these levels when it's fearful. Okay, it'll be too late. You're not gonna, if you're waiting for good headlines in order to add, you're gonna be way too late. Okay, the only headline that you should be looking for here, because it's a headline-driven market, is we've created a peace accord with Iran, and that's it. That's the only thing that matters. Everything else is just fear-driven, up and down moves that are just scaring everybody. Okay, before we get to that, we had a couple of macro prints. We had the PCE price index. At core PCEs at 0.4%. They were expecting 0.4%. It's pretty elevated, okay, but they're getting exactly what they wanted, so no surprise there. Okay, we also had Q4 GDP was revised. Okay, U.S. Q4 GDP was revised lower to 0.7% growth in Q4. That's very low. It was 1.4, and they cut it in half. Okay, most of it was like 1%, a negative 1% down move because of the government shutdown. So if you add that back up, because it's not going to happen again, we're at 1.7%, or like between 1 and 2%. That's good for the rate cut camp. Okay, and because of that, the Fed Watch tool, remember we saw it yesterday, we had like almost no cuts priced in for 2026. Here I'm looking at December 2026. Now there's like a 40% chance of a slight increase. It's basically even. Slight increase for one cut. So maybe one cut is back on the table due to such a bad print, I guess, on the GDP. Okay, so I guess that's a good thing. So we have macro that is okay. The PCE was expected normally. The PCE was 0.4%, and we got it. So no, It should not have affected markets there. And GDP is a lagging indicator. Nobody really cares at it right now, but it just goes to show you how it was back in December, or last quarter of Q4 of 2025. Okay. Again, the only thing that matters is the headline-driven market. You don't believe me? Well, let's get to it. Okay. And the headline is, let's get rid of the moving averages for now, just to see it a little bit more clearly. You can, if you don't believe me, you can just look at U.S. oil. Okay. As oil goes up, market goes down. Okay. So here we're still at very, very overbought, but it doesn't really matter. There's overbought. It's really just because of whatever Trump says. Okay. Let's dig deep into the intraday here, the 15 minutes on oil. You see, I don't know if you can see, but in the morning here, this is Friday. We're looking at a 50-minute chart. This is today, Friday the 13th. Okay. As you can see, a wiki candle. So it opened lower and then was quickly bought the whole day up with a little bit of like counter trend moves. Okay. If we look at the SPY today, it opened higher. It's the exact opposite. It's like, and then all the way down. So whatever oil does, SPY is going to do. Okay. This is like perfectly intraday. It's like almost a perfect -1 correlation, almost a perfectly negative correlation. Okay. Between the two. It just goes to show you that it's just everything is embodied in that. Everything that is happening in SPY is embodied in oil. Okay, it's the inverse. Everybody's super scared of this trade. Okay, at one point, that correlation is gonna end. It's gonna stop. But it just goes to show you. Let's go back to the day. It just goes to show you that this is just a headline-driven market. That's it. Okay, can this get worse? Yes, we'll see. It all depends. We don't know what happens over the weekend. People are selling. We're selling this market in the end. Okay, in the last half an hour to an hour, that we're selling this market, SPY, all the way into the end. They finish at the lows. So this at the lows. Okay, and it goes to show here that look at this whole week. This was Monday. Huge bullish engulfing. But you see, technicals don't really matter when you have a fundamental headwind that goes against you, because in the next 4 days, it just went down. So if you're just trading technicals, you would be going long. But, you don't want to go long in a war at this point, I guess. But you do when things get too extreme. Okay. So what I wanted to end this segment on is looking at levels and where to buy, because we looked at here when you put in the moving averages. Okay, you want to look at technical levels to buy a situation that you think is positive, generally speaking. Okay, and for me, for the SPY, I like the 652 level, which is here, strong support. But you can do it at the 200. So somewhere around there, maybe it undercuts the 200. That would be a good time to buy. That could happen as early as Monday, because that would be a good time to add if you want to buy the market. What about the tech industry, QQQ? Okay, QQQ is close to the 200. It's almost similar, but it's much closer. Okay, the 200 for the QQQs is at 590-ish, and we closed like at 593. So you're very close to touching that level. And the concurrent big level here that I like for the QQQ is 582. So we have a while to go. There are 11 points to get to the technical support, and there's like a few points, 3 to get to the moving average. Okay, so if you want to enter the QQQs, that's where you want to be. What about gold? We saw gold getting knocked off, selling as it's not a safe haven anymore. Gold apparently is not a safe haven, but Bitcoin is. So we'll get to that. First, gold down. The levels for gold is the 50-day moving average here. Okay, you want to buy it. If you want to buy it, it really has barely, look at that. During this entire uptrend, it has respected the 50-day moving average. Okay, so if you want to add, it's right now, it's at about 4,900. Okay, gold is almost at 5,000. Okay, so basically $100 more and you could buy gold. GDX, if you want to buy the miners. Okay, that's where it gets interesting. I don't look at this black line here. It's the 100-day moving average. I really don't care. But if GDX ever goes down to this strong support of 84.50, yeah, I'll be buying more gold companies when it gets to that point. Okay, and for the juniors, it passed the 50. I don't care about that. I'm looking at the 111.8 level. This is big support. Okay, this I will be adding more. Okay. Yes, the 50 can be violated. It doesn't really matter, okay? It still could be very, very strong going forward, okay? So basically, again, this entire move is driven by the headlines. It's just oil and the market. So if anything good happens vis-a-vis the Straits of Hormuz or anything. Trump just decides to sit down and start to talk with Khamenei. It's positive. It'll have an effect on oil. It'll have an effect on the markets. It'll have an effect on anything. Okay, so that's what we're looking for going forward. So, guys, if you like what you heard, of course, like and subscribe, and leave a comment below, and I will answer it as soon as I can. Of course, looking forward to next week is going to be a continuous headline-driven market until some relief happens or some kind of light at the end of the tunnel emerges. Okay, so let's see. Friday the 13th was bloody. Maybe next week. I mean, who knows? The Ides of March is on Sunday, so hopefully after that, good things happen. Unless your name is Caesar. All right, later, guys.